Hello, Pastor Aaron here, and I had to take this video by myself because my videographer, the Reverend Scott Girdle, was a little preoccupied. I don't know, he said something about writing a sermon, I think. Anyway, you'll have to suffer through this. Scott's really good at taking videos, I tell you what. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys about my boss. I don't know if you've met him. He's right there. He's watching us. You may know him as Jesus Christ of Nazareth, or perhaps the Lord of the universe. But anyway, I got to tell you about him. He wasn't a nice guy. Yeah, Jesus wasn't a nice guy. I know that might be hard for you to hear, but he was sure kind, compassionate, loving, gracious, merciful. There's a lot of things to describe him, but I wouldn't say nice. I think nice people compromise the truth just to please others, and Jesus, he was not about that. You may argue with my definition of nice, but I just want to tell you one story about him. So he was with his disciples. They got on the Sea of Galilee, and a storm arose, and there were waves crashing over the boat, and the disciples were freaking out. They're like super anxious, and they're like, Jesus, why don't you do something? And what's Jesus doing? He's sleeping in the front of the boat. This is in Matthew chapter 8, by the way, if you want to look at it. He's sleeping. And the disciples are like, Jesus, don't you care that we are perishing? And Jesus calls them a name. He calls them a name. He calls them little faiths. In our translation, we get, O you of little faith, or in the King James, O ye of little faith. But in the Greek, it's oligopistoi. Oligopistoi. So that's your Greek lesson for today. Jesus calls his disciples this name. Little faiths. That's not nice, is it? That's not very kind. I mean, the disciples had enough to worry about. They had a lot to worry about. Like they might die. Oh, but Jesus, he rebukes them with these words. But then he gets up. He calms the sea, the waves subside, and peace is restored. And the disciples are left asking, what sort of man is this? Even the wind and the sea obey him. I don't know what has got you anxious right now, or what's troubling your soul. Maybe you're doing all right. But from time to time, we all get a little anxious. We get a little worried. And it wouldn't be nice to say to one another, hey, you have little faith, why don't you just believe more? But that's exactly what Jesus does. And it makes me wonder, like, why? Why does he do that? Well, I think the peace and solace that we can have from this is like, yeah, oftentimes we don't have faith. And so what's the solution? Can we do anything to increase our faith? Well, it kind of reminds me of the one story of the man who's asked Jesus, I believe, help me in my unbelief. Or the disciples, they've been recorded saying, increase our faith. That's a great place to start. But I think our faith is not the point. That's the subject, right? My faith, I, me, my, you, yours. What should give us comfort is the object of our faith, which is Jesus. He is the one who has control over all things. He has the power to create and sustain. He has the power to redeem and to restore. And it's in him that you can find peace and comfort in the face of whatever is making you anxious. Pray God's blessing on your day.